What's going on, guys? I'm here to talk about my honest thoughts about Modern Warfare. We all just got done the beta this past weekend, and I myself personally enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I'm going to be here talking about the good and the bad, and everyone feels different ways about this game. There's a lot of different opinions out there on very opposite ends of the spectrum, which is kind of what I would expect from a game like this, and I'm going to explain that more in depth throughout the video. I'm going to be talking about throughout the videos in order. I'm going from talking about the maps, then I'm going to game modes, the actual gameplay itself, the loadout menu, kill streaks, and then I'll kind of close it out and kind of bring it all together. And hopefully after that, you guys will have a really good idea about what this game will be at its release. And my insight is top notch in my opinion. I've played this Call of Duty for the past 6 years. I have a great idea of what makes a good Call of Duty game, and I have a great idea of what makes it fun for certain types of players, and I'll go in more into that in depth. This will be a sort of lengthy video, but it will really give you guys an idea of what to expect, and that's my goal here. So the maps in this game. The maps are very different than what we're used to. They got rid of the traditional three-lane maps, and most people would consider that to be how to make the game the most fair. You have three lanes. You know which direction your enemies are coming from. There's usually only like two or three options, and we went from that, and now we have. I mean, you can get shot from like 20 different directions half the time. And is that good or bad? Well, a lot of people are really missing the three-lane maps. They're really frustrated because it is hard to keep track of all the windows and places that you can get shot from. So it is definitely a talking point for many people. For me personally, I like it. I like it a lot. Not only do I like that there's so many different ways to tackle an objective or just tackle the people that are camping. There's so many ways to get up and challenge it. I really enjoy that challenge of really getting to know the maps. And I felt like it was a lot at first, just getting to know the maps. It was overwhelming even. But once I got used to it and played it more, it ended up being more fun. I always like a challenge. I always like having a game that I'm not just going to be good at right off the bat. You have to work at it, have to kind of find your way in that sense. But let's talk about the verticality of the maps. This is different because you can't jump around anymore. You can't like boost up to heights to kill the campers or and there is a lot of camping in these maps because of the verticality. You can get to these second floors and really hold down positions. And if you're the guy trying to take that position of the person holding down the say on B on Gosner Raid, like you have to be creative and find ways to get them out of that spot because it will be a power position, more or less. So I really enjoyed that. And again, people were like, "You're crazy. Like, why would you like that?" Because it's not the same game over and over and over again. There's so many ways to tackle a map, and this is why many games have added random effects, random events to make it so that each time you play it, it feels different. You don't feel like you're playing the same match every time you play it. And I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare does this without making it really unfair because you're equipped with grenades and flashes and all kind of things to counter campers, score streaks you can call in to just lay waste to a second floor building, for instance, or I mean, yes, some buildings do have roofs and you can hide in there, but say on Gosna Raid on B, there's no roof. There's a lot of holes in the roofs. You can make a lot of things happen. There's a lot of counterplay to consider, and what's really happening is people aren't willing to slow down their game. You have the serious players who love to run and gun. Like I used to love to run and gun, but I also love to kind of like be tactical. And I've always been able to play whatever way the game requires me to play. This game requires you to play slower. Bottom line, you cannot. You have to play slower. You really don't have much of a choice in that matter, and I think that's what's really getting the people. They just can't casually hop into a game and just run around with their heads cut off, whatever. You have to be tactical. You have to be more precision and be more aware. Otherwise, you're going to get killed every 2 seconds. And I think it's actually a higher skill cap game, and I'll get more into that and why that is. Let's move on into the game modes. So with that being said, this kind of leads me into the game modes. This whole idea of having to play slower and there being a ton of campers, which are facts. There are a ton of campers. They're kill streaks now, not score streaks. So again, it encourages camping and kind of waiting out for those kills. So how does this affect the game modes? Well, Team Deathmatch was my least favorite game mode and probably will be if nothing changes. And that's really unfortunate for the people who love playing Team Deathmatch, as Call of Duty is known for Team Deathmatch. There's just no getting around it. If the people who, myself included, when I want to just hop on and be casual and just kind of run around and Team Deathmatch and destroy with like a submachine gun, yeah, I have a hard time seeing that being possible in Team Deathmatch. There's no incentive to run around, because if you're aiming down sights and the other guy is running, guess who's going to win? The guy aiming down sights every single time. You just can't aim down sights fast enough in this game unless they make changes. And the change I would suggest for them is simply make submachine guns aim down sights faster. I think that's how you solve that problem. And I think it would solve it fairly well. Maybe slightly increase move speed to submachine guns as well. I mean, that might be overkill. I'm not sure. But that is kind of the solution to that problem in my mind. Domination, any objective mode was just straight up much, much better. If you have an objective, you can't really camp as much. However, I found headquarters even better than domination, and this is why. If you're in headquarters and the objective is changing across the map all the time, it requires everybody to move. Everybody to just, I mean, migrate across the whole map, like, and just be at different points at the map, and you just can't sit in the building or you're gonna lose, and no one wants to lose. Like, that's, so that definitely helps out those objective modes. That's why they are better. Why is headquarters better than domination? Well, domination you can actually still camp a bit. You can camp the flags, get easy kills. And this happens quite a bit from my experience, because you don't get points towards your kill streaks when you capture the flag like you used to in game modes. And this is why, because now there's a lot of camping of the certain flags, and basically they get their kill streaks, and then once they get the kill streaks, it's really hard for the other team to capture the flag till they kill the kill streaks. So that's why I didn't enjoy domination as much. And again, that's why I didn't enjoy Team Deathmatch hardly at all, because of the camping is very severe. Even though I just talked about how there's ways to counter camping, I guess I would adjust that by saying there's ways to counter camping when there's objectives to be had. It does change how the camping kind of works. I'm not gonna get too much into that, but so that's the kind of the basis for these objective or for all these game modes. Headquarters is up top, domination, and Team Deathmatch for me. And Cyber Attack is in there as well. It's a good game mode as well. So the overall gameplay. This is going to be a lot about the mini-map. I'm going to talk a lot about time to kill, spawns, how the guns feel, run and gunning versus camping, which I already touched on, all the different angles you can get shot at from, and the noobs versus veterans. So let's get into it. The first thing is the mini-map. Let's just go right there to the mini-map. I mean, I didn't play it when the mini-map was not available. It was just a silly thing for them to do. There's no getting around it. It was never broken. Everyone loved the mini map from Call of Duty. They always have. So why take that away? They fixed it, and this weekend the mini map is back. Don't fix things that aren't broken. Just keep them. They're good. Keep them. Bottom line. So the only thing that is different is the red dots on the mini map when someone shoots without a suppressor is not back, however. and I've heard some different things about that. I don't mind it, and I don't mind it because I come to the conclusion, and many others have as well, it makes the game's skill cap even higher. And you'd think having more information on that map would make it so it would be a higher skill cap if they did show when someone's shooting. But I found that not to be true for several reasons. The first reason is not necessarily has to do with the gameplay, but how you manage your loadout. Basically, you have to use a suppressor before just so you wouldn't show up on the main map if you wanted to be like tactical or build like your streaks up, because any good player who sees that red dot on the map, just like, or not even a good player, any player, they swarm to you, and it's just kind of annoying that you can't uh, you can't work around not being seen because you're shooting a non-suppressed gun. It was just kind of frustrating, and it's something that I've really come to realize because of this game that I didn't like about the other games. And it just it takes away from the skill, because no matter how good you are, if there's like 10 people coming at you, it's it's just so hard to deal with that. And now instead of like uh, that, they have the suppressors which take away the sound, which I really like because they made the sounds of the gunshots very audible, so you get to like listen and kind of determine where they are, how far they are, and not just giving you a blatant dot on the map as to where they are or where you are. Uh, and it just I like that a lot better, and I definitely was surprised by that because I thought I enjoyed that about the other Call of Duty games, but now I realize I was more looking at where my teammates were to really understand and know where everyone is, uh, and I was using that to great effect when there was no like UAVs or people shooting, and how much like it was kind of lame that when I saw a red dot, I just ran that way. So the second reason is honestly kind of based. I kind of already touched on it. It's again when you shoot your gun and your red dot shows up on that map. I can't even reiterate this enough. When your red dot shows up on that map, any good player is if any good player is around you, you're dead. Like you're dead. You can't, especially in a game like this, which is why this is why I think that they got rid of this. Is because in a game like this where there's so many buildings and so many angles you can get shot from, and I just shoot one guy, and I get a kill. So my punishment for killing a guy is that I'm pretty much guaranteed to die now. That's that's really really dumb. So honestly, good job to them for kind of like foreseeing that, because when I thought about it, and when I played and I thought about it, it makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting that like to really understand Call of Duty games, uh, it actually takes some stopping and thinking about it, and you'd be surprised. Like me, just honestly making this video, when I look back at the beta, I'm definitely realizing more and more things and really getting a grander picture of what this game actually is and what it will be when it gets the full release in October. So let's move on to spawns. Spawns are the one thing that I think could use some work. Uh, Obviously, not it's not the one thing. There's other things that need work, but spawns really jumped out at me that need some work because you've seen tons of YouTubers, I'm sure. I've seen it myself, where I die. I literally spawn right in the view of, of my opponent, and I just get killed. And that'll tilt people like off the face of the earth, myself included. That was frustrating. It's like, all right, like it wasn't enough that I just got killed twice in a row before, and now I spawn and I die. That'll get people frustrated. They need to change that. And it's kind of weird that spawning has been a problem for a while now. I don't think it was terrible in like Black Ops 4. It was actually pretty good in my opinion. Uh, but it just seems to be a problem that goes across a lot of the Call of Duties, and it's weird they haven't figured it out yet. But they need to change that. Moving on to how the guns feel. I love how the guns feel. They have solid recoil. It feels like you're actually holding the gun. They're not like, the attachments actually help your gun. Like before, attachments did very minimal, I felt like, to helping your gun just do what you wanted it to do. Like if an attachment said reduce recoil, I felt in other games it like hardly did anything. I'm like, all right, that didn't help much. But this game, the attachments, the gunsmith, I love how that's all laid out. So definitely a plus in my opinion. And when you kill people, it feels good. It feels like you're holding a heavy gun. It feels like you're hitting them with some real bullets. As simple as that, honestly. Time to kill is quick, and I was kind of not excited about this. But when I started playing, it just felt, for some reason, the short time to kill felt right in this game. Uh, I can't really put a finger on it, but I will say the short time to kill like that, I feel like if they make submachine guns aim down sights faster, you could be able to run and gun and like I don't know. I felt like the time to kill made it so if you maneuvered well that you could get a couple quick kills even if you're like getting like double teamed. If you like duck behind cover real quick, pop out, stuff like there was ways to really make that work for the game, and it really did work for me. So I was surprised by that. Uh, Running and gunning, like I said, it's not good in this game. Not as the game stands. You can't be running around. I've already talked about that. Camping is very strong. We'll just move on from there. It's getting shot from a bunch of different angles. This is going to be a huge complaint for many people, and it has been. Again, I've already talked about this a little bit. I love it. I love having to keep track of all this different stuff. For me, it's a challenge. For me, it's like, I don't know. It's a rush. I love having a more complicated awareness atmosphere. It's not just three lanes. It's not just two or three directions. You have to really work on your awareness, and it's always been one of my greatest assets. My aim's decent, but that has always been my best thing in these games is knowing where everything is, despite maybe like the chaos going on in some of these maps. And the more I played, the more I just seemed to do better. I really like. I've gotten all the kill streaks, that they had. Not too much trouble. I was 5 off a nuke twice, and it was just me knowing where to be and knowing where everyone else is. And that's hard, especially with like a smaller mini map. People are used to the red dots. That wasn't a problem for me because I was used to just judging by where my teammates were, where everyone else is. And I think there's a lot of learning for a lot of people to get better, myself included. And that's why I will say this game intrigues me, and why I'm going to get the game is because there is a high skill gap. I didn't think there would be, I'll be honest, but when I played it, it occurred to me more and more there is so much to get better at in this game. And I'm excited for that. And I want a game that's going to challenge me and make me want to come back and try to get better. There is skill-based matchmaking. So, yeah, it's going to be rough, especially for all, the YouTubers and etc. We're going to have a hard time getting nukes and making content when, maybe we're dropping like 40 kills or something. That's a little optimistic in this game. But, trying to carry a team who's, at the bottom, they're like, doing like 2 kills or something. But like, many people want just the old Call of Duty matchmaking back where it's just throw everyone in there. I honestly don't know what I prefer. I really don't. My gut tells me I want the skill-based matchmaking to make, on average, every game more fair. But it does make it tough sometimes. You'll get matched up with people who are like stacked in parties, and that's tough. But I think the simple solution is that it's just make a separate game, a separate lobby of like where you can do quick play, like where there's no parties allowed. There was that in Black Ops 4, so I think that's an idea that they should throw in there. And let's go into the kill streaks, and then we'll close this out. So let's do it. Alright, so we're on to the kill streaks. This has always been a big talking point for me. It's what keeps me personally coming back to the game, and like it gives me goals to hit. Like you want to hit this score streak or kill streak this time and this kill streak. And are they viable? Like will they not get killed in 2 seconds when you use them? I thought they were the ones that they had available. I thought they were very cool, very good. Uh, However, the more the like near the end of the beta, I was seeing kill streaks getting killed quite quickly, like a chopper gunner getting actually just killed with a primary weapon. The UAVs go down super fast. I just shot the UAV with my primary weapon. Like whatever happened to killing these things with like an actual rocket launcher? Like I, I, I don't understand that. Like rocket launchers, you don't need them anymore. You just bring out your primary weapon and just shoot it, and it's down. So I don't agree with that. Uh, I don't think they should be killed that easily. Uh, I honestly don't have enough data. I feel like to make a complete 100% decision on how I feel about them. But I will say they need to change where if you get your third streak, it doesn't start the streaks again. Like you can't get them again. It doesn't. They don't start recycling, and that's like why. That makes no sense. Like you should be able to recycle your streaks after you get your last one. It should go back to the beginning. Uh, that's dumb. That's just, I don't I that needs to be changed. That's just crazy. You already have like I know they're trying to like appeal to noobs, people who just maybe will get their streaks once if they're lucky. But they already have done a ton of stuff to to help and to cater to the noobs. Uh, I think they need to chill out, and start like I know it's a business for them, but they need to bring that back because now you're gonna they're getting to a point where they're gonna stop having like serious players. Uh, I mean they're probably a while off that, but it is super annoying that there's so many ways to kill all these kill streaks and you not be able to recycle them. It's not fun for me when I first realized that there wasn't recycling. I was like, what? And I just like instantly got super mad. I was like, I was just like tilted after that. I was like, come on, like. Because then after that, all you're doing is going for a nuke, I guess. But like, you just want to keep recycling your streaks. Like, because what if I have 3 low streaks, right? What if I have the recon, personal recon, uh, and then I have the UAV, and then like I don't know, a cruise missile. And what if I just want to keep recycling those kill streaks? I can't do that now. So I don't know, and that's just like a gameplay, right? Like it's a type of style of play. If I'm playing against good players, I want and like I know they're good players, right? I go into like my kill streaks and I put 3 low ones, right? So I get like the UAVs and counter UAVs. So then the better players on the other team don't get their kill streaks as easily because I'm just recycling these UAVs and I can see them on my map, on my mini map more often. And that's like a style of play. It's like there's ways to counter better players or like I don't know. And I just really don't think they thought about that. And I hope by the time it comes out in October they change that. Uh, so I've been talking your guys' ears off for a while, but there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is the perks. The gun. I already talked about gunsmith. So basically the perks and the field equipment. I love the field equipment. It adds a lot of variety to what you can do in your loadouts. The perks I think are all very well done. It's like kind of like back to the basics, and they seem really fair. I will say the second perk slot where you have hardline, you have the kill chain, and you have ghost. I feel like your whole loadout, like is based off that second perk tree there. So that's kind of interesting. But with that said, people are saying they need to change ghost to when you're moving that you can't be seen. I think that's a terrible idea, and I'll tell you why. Because most games, I think the ghost where you have to move had to. I can't talk. When you had to move to change your to make it so that you're invisible to the radar, it was good in those games because your movement speed was so quick and it's 3-lane maps. But in this game, like your move so slow anyway. If you made it so you had to move to be off the radar, it's not really worth having Ghost at all. Like even if you are the guy running around, like that's how I tend to use Ghost. Like I don't camp in a building or whatever. I like run around with Ghost. like I would have to continually run around, and it's just not good to run around in this game. So it would make Ghost really bad. I really hope they keep Ghost as is, because really I don't think it's gonna help campers that much more. Like if they're gonna camp, they're gonna camp. Like they're gonna have claymores at the doors and stuff. It's not gonna change much. And with that said, if you're using Ghost, it also makes it so you can't use Hardline, you can't use Kill Chain, and the other really good perks are all in the second perk tree. So I think that's fine. They shouldn't change that. And I think all the, like I said, the perks and stuff are well done. Uh, and lastly, I hope you guys have really gotten insight, an idea of, and maybe hopefully I've kind of changed your perspective and made you kind of see the honesty or the honest side of what Modern Warfare actually is. It's a slow game. It's a tactical game. It requires a ton of awareness. Some things need to be changed, like the spawns, the kill streaks a little bit. But most importantly, I'm going to be on Twitch from 6 to 9, every day, streaming Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, especially when it comes out on October 25th. Until then, I'll be doing Black Ops 4, maybe some TF2, and maybe some other games. Kind of get myself ready and on a consistent schedule for you guys. And I really hope you guys can, drop a like and subscribe. I put a lot of time into this video and time into my my YouTube channel in general. And enjoy Modern Warfare. And I hope you guys have learned something here. And I'll see you in the next one.